what's up everyone on YouTube and also everyone watching on stream. This is CheeZe and I'm going to be doing a commentary of one of my games where I'm playing a champion and I just focus on myself playing and kind of give you some insight on what I'm thinking and why I'm doing bad or why I'm doing good or whatever the case is. You know, I've done one of these in a while. I've been doing a lot of pro game commentaries, and in the past I used to, you know, before replays and all that stuff, I used to just play my own games and just commentate on those, and I thought those were fairly, I thought they were fairly popular. I guess I just haven't done one in a while. So now that I've been playing a lot more ranked and stuff, I guess I'll start doing those again, at least if you guys enjoy watching those. And so until everyone tells me to screw off and stop doing it, I'm just gonna start doing these in addition to my program commentaries and stuff like that, because as you may have heard in some of my other videos, I'm gonna try and do like 2 or 3 videos a day, just try and give you guys some really good content. Hopefully I'm not like degrading the quality of what I do. I'm definitely gonna try and give you guys some really good stuff and give you a reason to watch my channel. So let me know what you're thinking about all the new stuff that I've been doing down below. But anyways, back to this game. AP Evelyn is the new kind of flavor of the month, so I thought this would be a good video to do for anyone out there who either hasn't heard of it or isn't 100% sure of how it works or whatever the case is. And anyways, I pretty much have, I think it's a fairly standard setup for runes and masteries on Evelyn. I've got, I believe, just the 15 AP on my quintessences, and then I'm going for, I believe, magic resist on blues, and just magic pin. So pretty standard stuff. And then I have the 21 into offense tree, and then I'm actually putting the other 9 points into defense because I want to have that extra, you know, magic resist and stuff like that for the mid lane, rather than the, you know, normally on AP carries you would put those 9 points into utility tree for the mana regen. In Eve's case, she doesn't necessarily need that as bad. Her spells are quite cheap, and you're not going to be spamming the hell out of them that much. And even when you do spam them, as you can see, like I pushed Q and my mana bar pretty much hasn't moved. You know, most other champions, like, you use an ability to pull the blue buff and you're already at like, you know, 75% of your mana pool or something like that. But anyways, I'm going to be against a Katarina this game, and this is actually my very first game as AP Evelyn, so I'll be honest with you, I may make a lot of mistakes in this game. I don't actually remember 100% how this game went. I mean, I know the outcome, but I don't recall like how I did in the lane and stuff like that. Either way though, it's pretty easy to farm as Evelyn. You can either just walk up and auto attack the creeps, or you can use your Q when it's low health and it'll auto target and attack the creep, or you can just do both. Whenever the enemy comes up in range, it's easy enough to just hit your E and your Q to do a little bit of harass. Obviously you're going to be maxing your Q first because that's your main source of damage and farming in a lane. Whenever you go mid-Eve, you obviously are going to be going for AP. You can definitely build her in the old style with some AD and stuff like that, but it's just not as powerful with her new spells and lineup. Everything scales on AP really well, and you get that giant percentage burst. So that's kind of the way to go. I don't think I actually do it this game, but normally you want to go for a quick Kage's and do a DFG. I think I actually did Doran's, and Doran's is actually not a bad build. You can go for Doran's and then DFG, or DFG into a Doran's, you know, 1 Doran's, 1 DFG, whatever the case is, doesn't necessarily matter. It is nice to have that extra HP from Doran's though, and I think in my sorry, excuse me, I just had like a seizure. But anyways, it's good to have that extra, the HP mana regen from the Doran's. But the Kage's, if you get that quickly, it's going to give you the ability to get your mana, or not your mana, but your gold up a lot faster, and that sort of thing. So let me go ahead and, I'm going to go ahead and speed up the lane phase here after this gank attempt. So you see Skarn's going to come up, help me out a little bit. This is definitely going to give me the advantage in the lane, as, no, unfortunately I took a tower hit, and, okay, so, so yeah, I noticed she was low enough for me to get a kill. Unfortunately, I kind of misjudged the damage that I was going to be able to do. Again, this is my first time playing Evelyn, so I don't know the exact numbers that I can put out in a period of time. I did get the kill. I knew that I could get the kill with the Ignite. Unfortunately, I did give away first blood, so it didn't really do anything but just make us even in the lane. So overall, it's pretty much we're quite even here, and I was able to pick up 2 Dorans from that, so not a terrible trade. She actually picked up a Kage, which is normally what I would have done if I played Evelyn again. I probably would do that. In this particular case, it might have actually worked out for me to have the Dorans because of the fact that I want to be able to trade with Katarina. She's going to be able to do just about as much damage as I am. I noticed that there's some, Skarner's going to go down and gank bottom, so I was like, well, I'm going to go down here with him. And this is one good thing about Evelyn is she's always like stealth and stuff like that, so you can run down and you can really make a lot of plays happen. So I was able to get an assist there and then pick up another kill onto the Janna. And unfortunately, it looks like the enemy jungler came in to try and stop us. He did pick up a kill on the Maokai. And I noticed that Katarina was coming in, so I was like, screw that, I'm getting the hell out of there. And so I run all the way up north and try and split myself off from Skarner. And the reason for that is like, well, if she gets a kill on the Skarner, then I can at least avoid her coming after me. So I was easily able to make it out safely by teleporting away in the blue bush. Luckily, they didn't have Hecarim chase me out. And in fact, I think if he did, I probably would have killed him anyways. I'm not sure. I was kind of low though. And let's see, so I picked up my Stork boots. Still don't have the Kages yet. It would have been nice for me to pick up Kages, but again, I wasn't really thinking about it. Like, I honestly was like, what do I build on Evelyn? I was like in the middle of just like, that when you first play a champion for the first time, you're like, maybe you just like forget stuff. I don't know, that's how I am. I'm always like really bad whenever I play champion for the first time. Although I think I did fairly well on Evelyn. She's actually not that hard to get the hang of once you start playing her. So you just kind of run up and auto attack and hit Q. It's really simple. It's not like you have to do a lot of skill shots or anything like that. Really, it's all about being sneaky and trying to outplay your opponent by, going stealth and running up behind them and putting a little bit of poke and stuff like that. If this was anyone other than Katarina, I'd probably be a lot more aggressive than I was this game. But instead, I opted to just kind of punish her anytime she went in for an attack and used her abilities. So what I try to do here, or what my thought process was, is okay, she's gonna run up and use her W anytime she gets close to me, so if I can kind of avoid getting hit by the W and then run up and attack her, then I'm gonna be a lot stronger. Now that I hit level 6, I'm like, okay, it's time for me to come down and gank. It was perfect too, because Janna actually went into the bush to farm, and I was like, oh crap, well Hecarim was there, so he was actually getting ready to gank. It was perfect timing for me to come down there. We were able to get them really low, and I think actually, there we go. We're able to get a kill for our jungler here, and at the same time, I think everyone else gets away. I'm going to go ahead and back off. I don't see where Katarina is. We do have Skarner coming in. Yeah, there we go. So Katarina did come up here to try and pick up a kill. She blinks to Ashe, but doesn't really do any damage, so it's not a big deal. Overall, we get that 1 kill, and that's pretty much what you got to do on Evelyn. That's like where her strength lies, is the ability to easily roam around the map and be undetected. So, he can call MIA, but I may still be in the lane for all he knows. Like, a lot of times, if I'm just sitting there waiting for the creeps to get low before auto attack, I'll be stealth, like maybe like, right here in the lane. And he's like, well, is Evelyn MIA, or is she up top, or is she bottom? Like, they really have no way of knowing. That's kind of the strength of Evelyn. So let me speed back up here. And so I've got the blue buff that I picked up with the help of Skarner, and really, the main thing for that is just to have the cooldown reduction. You don't really run out of mana so much as mid Eve. And, obviously when you're jungling, you're spamming out Q all the time, so jungle Eve uses a lot more mana, but in case of here, I get mana back so fast, and if you started to run out of mana, all you have to do is stay stealth, and her passive allows her to just, boop, regain mana really fast. So that's kind of one benefit of being mid Evelyn. So anyways, we're pretty low right here, and I was kind of waiting for Skarner to run in with his ultimate. It looks like okay, so that's what I did. I baited it out. So let me show you that again, like in slower. I knew that I could probably die to Katarina, so what I did was I forced her to use her ultimate. I ran backwards while her ultimate was going, so that it wouldn't do full damage to me, and then using my W to get that speed, I just chased back in and picked up the rest of the kill. And sometimes you kind of have to do that. You have to bait out that damage. Katarina really didn't stand a chance there with Skarner ulting her, and I basically just baited her by being low health at the turret. I knew that if I didn't back, she would try and push in and pick up a kill onto me at the turret, and she probably would have if Skarner wasn't there. But since he was coming in, I knew that I can pick that up. I finally did pick up my Kages. I got a couple of wards here. My goal now is I'm gonna put double wards on both sides, which honestly, I just realized that Skarner did the same thing, and this is what I was thinking in my head. I was like, holy crap, Skarner's a beast. He's warding like 2 areas in the jungle, so he's actually a really good jungler as terms of, you know, just map control and stuff like that, and that's actually really important. And so I'm going to be able to place my 2 wards probably in this area right here, and that's going to allow me to have like basically full map control. Katarina can't really roam around anywhere. Hecarim can't really gank anywhere. And at the same time, that's going to give me the ability to roam around and gank, and they can't really see me because I'm stealth, and so even if they had wards, they wouldn't know if I was coming. And there we go, I do put down the wards like I was telling you. In fact, I put it, yeah, that's even better. I put it down there so that I can see if the blue buff does respawn, then I can run up there and either try and steal that or just do whatever it is that I want to do. Rather than going down bottom, I go ahead and come back to the mid. I want to shove down the lane as much as possible, and then I want to roam after the lane is shoved to the turret, so that forces Katarina to try and farm at her turret. Unfortunately, Katarina is actually out of here. Luckily, I have the ward there, and I'm going to just kind of poke her down and harass a little bit if I can. Ashe does land an arrow, but I'm not going to engage on that. I'm like, oh, that's a little bit too risky because they have both of the people down here, and by the time I would have caught up to her, she would have already been out of the stun anyway, so it would have been really risky to try and fight that. Looks like Katarina just goes back to her lane, and I'm doing the same thing, so I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm just going to go ahead and farm up here as much as possible. My blue buff is back up, so it's going to be easy enough for me to pick that up on my own. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up a blue buff. And I probably can gank. Yeah, so right here, I'm going to go ahead and go for a gank attempt. Unfortunately, Hecarim does see me and runs at me. So I'm just going to pop my W for the move speed and get out of there. Now, what he's doing, he's making a huge mistake here. He's actually running into my jungle. And now, normally it's okay for him to like chase me. But since we already saw him coming, it gives us plenty of time to actually respond to that. So Jace folds down and Skarner comes in. We get the ultimate from Skarner onto onto Katarina, and then we're able to just chase down Hecarim and pick them up. So that's 2 easy kills for us just because they got a little bit greedy, ran into our jungle, and I mean, if they were there already and they quickly ran at me and tried to get a kill, that would have worked out, but they just spent way too long doing that, and that was just a huge mistake on their part. So pretty much that's 2 kills, and I get to focus down the turret, and I'm pretty sure I kill it right here, as there's not really anyone up in time to make anything happen. You'll see Hecarim just barely came back. Katarina's on her way, I think. Yeah, Katarina's on her way, but by the time she gets back, turret's already dead, doesn't even matter. She can try and kill me here, and I don't care. So I basically gave up my life. I could have got away and came back and killed the turret later. I don't know if it would have been worth it or not. Either way, I didn't really care. I was like, whatever, I'm going to kill the turret, and I'm going to buy some items. So I picked up a blasting wand, so pretty soon I will have the DFG. It looks like a little bit of fighting action is happening over here. I did have that ward at the blue, and so I guess they saw that Hecarim was going for that. We steal the blue and take Hecarim down. So, I mean, placing them wards down is just a really huge thing for map control and allowing your team to pick up kills all around the place. So you can actually carry games just by giving your team vision, and then obviously your team has to respond to that vision, but a lot of times it's going to give them the idea of, okay, well, if we all go up here, we're going to kill this guy who's all by himself at blue buff, and we can get a free blue buff. So I really enjoy buying like double wards as a mid laner whenever I'm playing in solo queue, just because a lot of times you don't have a Skarner that places wards down in the bush, and you need to be able to put like 1 ward here and 1 ward over here, and that's going to give you that ability to avoid getting ganked. Normally it's the jungler's job, I think, to ward one side, and then your job to ward the other side as a mid laner, and that's always the way I've felt. And whenever I've been in my 5 ranked team with some higher elo people, I mean, they always say the same thing. That's kind of the idea, is, you know, jungler is always responsible for one side while the mid is responsible for the other. So now that I've shoved down the mid and I've cleaned up some creeps, it's easy for me to just roam up here and gank up top lane. There's really not much that Robodark can do, as I think, hell, he probably would have died without my help anyways, but I pick up that kill and just back off. His ghost is going to run around like sad mode, wishing he can pick up some kills. He's probably just going to sit here and farm. So I'm just going to hang out for a little bit and see if there was any counter gank action going to happen. Obviously not. My goal here is to shove down this tower. It's at 16, almost 17 minutes. I always want to shove down turrets as fast as possible. My goal in solo queue games is to get my team to group up as 5 as fast as possible. So the faster you can take down turrets and get your team to group up as 5, the better chances you are going to have of winning. In solo queue, I feel personally like a lot of times the team who groups up faster is going to win, just because of the fact that there isn't a lot of communication a lot of times in solo queue games. And you don't really need a lot of communication if everybody's just stick together, because a lot of people know how to play as a group, but they don't know how to get together as a group. So if you can kind of convince your team to kind of group up and make plays together, like a lot of times I'll even say something in chat, I'll be like, hey guys, let's group up as 5, or let's go here. And you know, if you can kind of ping around and give your, you know, you don't really want to shout and bark out orders to people and things like that, but if you can kind of convince your teammates to group up and make plays, then it's going to be a lot better for it. And now bottom lane here, I was able to get there just in time to pick up a double kill. I noticed this stuff was happening, and I was like, I'm going to finish farming before I go bottom. So unfortunately, I did have to pop both of my cooldowns, my flash and my ignite, to pick up that double kill. And I probably would have been able to pick it up easier if I had gone a little bit sooner. But either way, you know, it's worth it. Double kill for 2 summoners is definitely worth it. And at the same time, I'm able to shove down these this bottom turret. So I've got enough time to do so before they come back. They're actually still respawning. And this is going to be the 3rd turret that I've taken out. You'll notice I personally put a lot of preference on attacking turrets. And so that's just my personal style of solo queue, is shoving down turrets. So that's what I've done in this game, is every chance I get, I'm going to go somewhere and I'm going to attack that turret. Alright, so let me go ahead and speed up just a bit. And I think what now, with all 3 turrets, you kind of are in a transitional period where your team's like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? Where do I go? Do I farm, or do we group up? Do we take objectives? And so the main thing is you want to make sure you always have your buffs picked up. So give your red to your AD carry, pick up the blue for your AP, and then everybody can kind of group up. You don't always have to do this necessarily. You can have like one person split pushing and the other person and the other 4 grouped up. In either case, you want to be roaming around on the map, especially once you pick up those 3 turrets. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do here with this Maokai. So I actually run around the other side because I know that Robodark is going to try his best to escape, and I knew I'd be able to get there quicker if I went that direction, which I did, and I randomly ran into a Janna. Was able to pick up the kill on a Robodark and get out of there no problem. So Janna gets away, but with very little HP. And that's exactly what you have to do, just kind of roam around, pick up kills in the map. In fact, if I had wards, it'd be good to put a ward right here and right here. And once you have the enemy bushes warded, it's so much easier for you to pick up kills, because people will be roaming around there to, you know, go for like a jungle creeps, or if you have the advantage of towers, or if you're like ahead in the game, it's always best to ward up the enemy jungle, because they don't really have anywhere safe to go to farm creeps if you're pushing the waves out. And so a lot of times they'll just run into their forest to pick up creeps there, and you can see them coming in and you can pick up kills that way. So there's a lot of different options for you there. Anyways, right now I'm just kind of shoving down, trying to put as much pressure as I can. What I'll do is I'll like farm right at the turret and see if I can force somebody to come around and attack me, and then if my teammates are hanging out in the bushes somewhere, they can see them. See, we have vision here, both of these areas, so if someone, yeah, just like Hecarim, if he's gonna come around and try and like attack me here in the middle lane, then we can see him coming and we can kind of fold in on him. Exactly, just like this. He's hanging out in the bush, he thinks he's safe, and I'm gonna go in for the kill on him, using everything that I've got at my disposal to take him out. I pick up a kill, and wow, what a perfect arrow! Oh man, I was so in love with Ashe right there. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna die! And then it was like, arrow to the face! And that pretty much saved me. So I'm a little bit low here. I'm really afraid of attacking this guy, and I might actually die here, guys. Nice Pokemon. I was like, ah! So that was actually a really big mistake on my part. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna attack the Katarina, and then I'm gonna back off. That way Maokai can pick up the kill. But I misjudged how much damage Maokai can do. I kind of forgot that Maokai really sucks at damage, so I should have just stayed in and fought, because I was gonna die anyways. But honestly, when I backed off, I didn't think I was going to die. I misjudged like my health, and I don't know, either way it was just a bad play. So if you're gonna die, just stay in and fight. I kind of realized I was gonna die a little bit late, so by the time I was like, okay, I'm gonna die, I need to run back in, I was already dead. And then Maokai pretty much ended up giving up. So pretty bad overall. Ashe kind of making a stupid play here. There's no reason for her to like run in the back like that. I mean, yes, she grabbed a kill onto I what it was, a Vayne, but overall not the best. And I think that this is a pretty good situation for risk here, but yeah, he actually forced Hecarim to run out with his ultimate. Unfortunately, he just didn't have enough damage with that Q gate in order to pick up the kill. I thought he was gonna die, but he actually has enough move speed to get away from the Katarina. Anyways, we're not in a bad position. That was potentially like a couple of fights there that could have thrown the game into the enemy's favor if we weren't so far ahead. Luckily, we are doing really good this game, and so it's not gonna put us in a position where we're gonna like lose the game or anything like that. But those are the type of plays that can force you to lose. So you have to be really careful by making some of these plays where you you know, you split up and you try and make these dumb decisions. You fight not as a team. This is exactly what I'm talking about, though. If you can get your team to just group up as 5, it's going to be so much easier to win solo queue. In the last couple of fights, we've been fighting in groups of like 2 and 3 and things like that and getting picked off. Right now, we are grouped back up, though. So as long as we stay in this little formation, we're going to pretty much steamroll these guys down, and there's not much they can do about it. So let me go back to normal speed. And you notice we're just kind of waiting for something to happen here. I'm going to sit up here and run into the range and poke. They don't really have anyone that can like lock me down. Like if I get in range, they can't just like say, oh, I'm gonna kill you, you're dead. So this is actually a really easy team comp for us to versus. They have no real lockdown. It's kind of a bad choice of champions in their part, to be honest. You want someone who can take advantage of people's mistakes. So like if I make the mistake of running up here and getting shot by the turret, no one can stun me in turret range and then lock me down. Really, all they can do is just attack me. And there we go, Skarner jumps in with a flash and pulls in the Bane, which is perfect. And then bam, look at all this AoE damage. We take everybody down extremely low. I make sure that I don't die. I want to run back and I just start shooting people. And I actually screw up and I didn't use my ultimate until later. But I was able to pick up the kill out of the way. If I had used my ultimate right there where there was 3 people, I would have got a giant shield and probably destroyed everyone as well. But I guess I thought I had hit it, and then I realized later, I was like, oh, they need it, so I picked up that last kill. Anyways, that's pretty much like GG at this point. We're just going to kind of like shove down these turrets. There's not much they can do now that we've got their inhibitor. We're so far ahead on kills. I'm super strong myself. I don't even have a DFG yet. Like, I pretty much should have built the DFG, but I think whenever I did go back that first time, I was like, oh, I can build straight up Death Cap. And that was like when I had a Kage's. I had just enough money to build Death Cap. So at the time, it was really strong, but like, it's really nice to have that DFG for the burst damage later on. So I don't know. I'd say probably better idea to go ahead and build the DFG. Obviously, you get the cooldown reduction from that as well. Anyways, we're just gonna regroup here. We shove down the inhibitor, picking up the blue buff. And I'm probably going to head towards either the Baron or just shove in for the rest of the kill. I noticed that the Hecarim is shoving down our turrets here, and I'm like, well, we can probably go for Baron since he's on the bottom lane. But then I noticed that everyone else is just kind of taking their time and not really doing much. So I think that I'm like, well, we're obviously not going to get Baron by the time Hecarim has a chance to kill the turret. So I'm like, F it. And you can see I'm like trying to make my decision. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and go bottom. There's a ton of farm here, and I want to pick up a kill onto Hecarim. I do have my DFG now at this point. I'm gonna go for a GA with my chain, or actually I'm gonna go for a not a GA but a Zanya. So I try to use all of my abilities to kill the Hecarim. Unfortunately, I didn't put my DFG on the 1 key, so you notice it's like right here. I normally put my DFG on the 1 key, and then I have Smart Cast set up, and I'll hit 1 for DFG, but I completely forgot that I didn't move it, so I just didn't use it at all. And so yeah, notice I just now moved it. I'm like, crap. But that's actually the way I have my stuff set up. I think it works out really well. Is I'll have 4, 5, and 6 as just the regular action keys, and then I'll go into the options and I'll set 1, 2, and 3 as Smart Cast. So I'll use any active items as Smart Cast, and then I'll put all my wards in like slot 4, so I don't Smart Cast wards, because if I Smart Cast wards, I sometimes like F it up and like throw them right outside the bush or something like that. So it's like ends up being really annoying and stuff like that. Anyways, we're in a really good position. We picked up the Baron. There wasn't really any way they can contest us there. And so we're just going to kind of shove the rest of this stuff down here. And there we go. Everyone just gets kind of caught. Everyone's playing really bad on the red team. And so we're just going to clean this up. In fact, I'm just going to like speed it up for the rest of the game. But hopefully you guys like got a good idea of AP Evelynn. I obviously made a couple of mistakes here, so you can kind of learn from my mistakes. Obviously you want to make a DFG a little bit earlier than I did. I mean, it's like the game's already over by the time I built DFG. And it's really strong to have that early on. You use the DFG into your ultimate. Boom! Percentage health damage, gone, they're dead, stuff like that. And other than that, you know, it might take you a few games just to learn the exact damages that you can put out with Evelynn. It's pretty high, And so overall, just things to take away from this particular video that I did here are when you're playing AP mid Evelynn, make sure that you shove down the lanes as much as possible and roam, because that's where she's strong. Picking up wards, placing them down around the map so you can catch people that are roaming themselves, and so you don't get counter ganked and stuff like that is another important thing. So other than that, good luck guys. Hopefully you enjoy the AP Evelynn. Take advantage of it while it's still strong before it gets nerfed. I'll see you guys around for the next one. Hopefully you enjoyed the personal commentary. I would like to do a lot more of these, so I'll see you around for the next